What's happening, y'all? JR Raymond here, and I'm at Bowler X Pro Shop and Training Center inside Waterford Lanes. Today we're going to be getting ready for an event. I've got to pick some bowling balls, and what we want to do is we want to narrow them down. We want to try to grab just 12 balls that we're going to take with us, as far as 12 core bowling balls, and then maybe add in some specialty ones as well. But I'm going to show you kind of the progression of what I do looking at bowling balls during practice to try to figure out which ones to take here in a minute. Stay tuned. All right, so here we can see I've got all my solid cover bowling balls. Well, with the exception of this technically is a pearl, but it reacts like a solid, so I keep it as a solid. But these are, we've got, what is it, we got 5 symmetrical solids, 2 asim solids. And what I want to do is kind of narrow it down to, we got to eliminate one of these at some point, because we're going to take 2 asim solids and we're going to take 4 symmetrical solids. We're bowling on 41 feet this week on bare. Very tough pattern, so it's going to be controllable. So more than likely what I'm going to do is eliminate one of the asim balls, because I won't need 2 asim solids for sure. So I'm going to show you what I do to try to figure out which ones are better than which here in a minute. All right, so essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get lined up straighter. I'm going to try to play somewhere in this range, a little bit straighter up the lane with the solid bowling balls. Nice straight angles, not giving it away too much. And I kind of want to throw each one, try to throw good shots, get lined up with one, and then see which ones start to hook earlier, which ones go a little longer, and just kind of compare the two, and we'll talk through it here in a second. So we'll start with the Verge solid. And I'm going to try to line up right at around that 13, 14 range, straight up the lane. Standing around 25 or so. All right, so I slid on 25. I hit about 14, we'll call it. And it probably got to about 6 or 7. So now I'm just going to go right down the line. That one obviously struck. It looked pretty good. I'm going to go right down the line. I'm going to throw the Stealth in the same kind of area. And you have to be honest with yourself. You've got to be honest on whether you threw it good or not, or if it went in the same direction, and be able to pay attention to whether it hooked early or it hooked late, one of those things. But you've got to be able to know your game well enough to know if you actually threw it good or not. All right, so I feel like that was a little left off my hand. That wasn't the best shot ever, but it still held the line. I feel like it hooked a little earlier, but we're going to take a look again. We'll try it again. That was a better shot. I thought that was a little bit better. I got that one going to the right. You can see it's more responsive than the Verge. Definitely is a little bit earlier. So now we'll move on. Let's throw the Crypto. That was a lot smoother reaction than the Stealth. Real similar to the Verge though, so I'm gonna throw that one more time. That was pretty good. I think it's overall a little bit stronger than the Verge, which would be good. So let me throw the Verge there one more time and see what it does. That one's definitely cleaner than the other ones. That flows through there so much cleaner. So if I need a little bit more bite, I've got more back end with the Stealth, a little bit earlier and smoother ball reaction with the Crypto. Now let's throw the Rattler. It's a lower differential ball. We'll see what it does in that same spot. I don't think that was my best effort. It was a pretty good shot, but I didn't feel like it got going to the right as much. It still made a pretty good shape. This is why we practice, folks. That was an awful shot. We're gonna throw it again, try to get it close. Yeah, and even that one's rolling earlier than the Verge. So that's real similar to the other one. Let's try the Joker Maniac now. This is where you've really got to know your game. You've really got to be able to pay attention to ball reaction, because to the naked eye, to most people, these bowling balls don't really look much different. So how do you choose bowling balls when they look fairly similar every shot? I think that was even overall stronger than the rest of them. That one looked like it was just trying to go fast. So now let's try the ASIM bowling balls. I'll show you what to look for here in a second. We'll move left and then you'll really see the difference between the bowling balls. So here's a Supernova. There you can see the asymmetry pick up. The asymmetry wants it to go a little bit more down lane. Let's try the Gem. That going a little bit left to right. So now we can see kind of the difference between all these bowling balls, but let's really take a look as we go left. All right, so now let's go backwards and let's try to get like 20 into about, I don't know, 20, 21, 22, somewhere in there. And we're gonna try to go around the lane a little bit and see the difference between these balls at that point. All right, that was the Gem. So now we'll try the Supernova. If I'm correct, the Supernova actually should come around that corner better. So So that's where you can really see a difference. So you saw both the gem and the supernova in that straighter area and the rest of them. So now let's try to see, let's go to the verge. So you definitely tell the difference between the gem and the verge. The verge and the supernova look fairly similar there, but I think the supernova was a little bit cleaner in this middle part of the lane. Now we got the crypto. Much earlier and smoother. That one didn't want to get going to the right. So that, I would say, is the strongest ball of these. Maybe not. Maybe let's take a look at the Joker Maniac. Alright, so that Joker Maniac is the earliest of them, but overall the crypto is stronger. Now let's try the Rattler there. So that low diff ball is storing energy, so that one gets going down lane. Big flip there. That's a pretty good shot. So most people would try and say, okay, well that means that ball's the strongest. No, not necessarily. Here's the stealth. So what do we do? All right, so in terms of early, we have to put these in order. So the earliest bowling ball being the swag ball, the Joker. So we'll put that one up here. Next being the gem, right? The next earliest being probably the crypto. And then I would have to give the nod to the stealth, the verge. Then you've got the supernova and the Rattler. The Rattler stored the most energy, the lowest stiff ball of them, even though it's a solid. So this is the order here. So what are we gonna do? We gotta figure out which bowling balls are gonna go with us. Well, I don't think I like the gem, although it was unique. But I think I can create that similar reaction with a lot of the other ones. So I think we're gonna go supernova. We're gonna go verge. I think was great because it was clean and got through there. The stealth has always done me well. The crypto is overall the strongest ball. So that's 3. I think we're just gonna take 1 ASEM. So, and then we need 4. So I think I'm gonna take the Joker because it was a unique, smooth down lane reaction. So we're going to eliminate the Rattler and the gem for this. So basically, when trying to figure out what bowling balls to take, it's really, really hard to figure out because in different scenarios, what ball looks like the gem that looked way earlier and smoother than the rest of them, you know, could be the cleanest and strongest in a different place, on a different surface, on a different pattern. We just don't know. We have to go based on our feelings, what we see right now and what we're trying to accomplish, knowing we're going to be bowling on a really flat pattern that's going to be low scoring. You know, we need to try to keep things as controllable and understandable as possible. So basically, to run this down, what we did was throw shots with all these bowling balls straighter to see if there was any minute or big differences between them. And then you could really see the differences from ball to ball once we moved left, once we got into the uncomfortable area for these types of balls. And that's where you can really generally see what they do different. So when you're choosing your bowling balls, I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do it. You just want to make sure you don't have too much overlapping, you know. So like next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my pearls. I'm going to choose symmetrical pearls and asymmetrical pearls, and then obviously I'll have my urethanes with me as well. So I'm going to basically do the same thing. I'm going to throw my pearls straighter, and then I'm going to throw my pearls from inside and see where the differences are. I think a lot of them you're going to see the same. They're going to look similar from the inside because they're all going to float and get through the front and corner. And then the difference is going to be when they play straighter, you're going to watch some of them try to hook early, some of them try to never hook, those types of things. So it's going to be the exact opposite of what you just saw here. So I'll make that video as well. But hopefully this helps you to try to understand, you know, you're not really seeing a whole lot of difference with your eye. You've just got to pay attention to those subtle differences. Like if one's hooking just a pinch earlier, you know, they're all striking, but which one is hooking a little bit earlier, which one's hooking a little later, which one's kind of stopping, those types of things. You know, like, so the Rattler was one that stored and hooked later. The Joker was one that hooked earlier and kind of rolled off of the spot. The Verge was one that was kind of clean. It read the middle and continued. Same thing with the Stealth, but the Stealth was a little bit more pop down lane. The Crypto was overall just strong. It was early, it was mid lane, and it was continuous all the way through. And then you had the Supernova, which was clean with pop down lane as an ASIM, probably was a little stoppy once we got further left. So that's just kind of what we look at. So hopefully this helps you make your decisions when you're going through your lineup and whatnot. But I'm out of here, and we'll see you guys next time.